Hello guys and welcome to the channel. I hope you like it and that you want to subscribe as well. Enjoy the video.
Every meme you made, every ball team made, every broken race, every head you shave, I'll be streaming it. And this is Michel. Every single day, every heart I break, let my girlfriend wait while I play my games. I'll be streaming it.
I am stupid. I am a banana.
Oh, Carlos, please, you belong to me. You need to be great, but I'll amaze my mate with every turn you take, with every melting break, every virtual raise, every winter break. I'll be streaming it. When time goes, I'll be lost without a trace, and like a bot will be off the grid for days. I'll find a rising cap to hide my face. I'll look around for the ball that's meme embrace. I keep crying, Carlos, Carlos, please. Carlos, please don't go, mate. I'll miss you. Please.
Lando is my teammate now.
Oh, Carlos, please. At Ferrari, we will become so great as long as you're second place. Every second place on the quality days. Every car complaint, every tour he makes. Carlos, he's mine now. Yes, every swap for plays, every strategy. Carlos, he's mine now.
No, sure, you can't say that. He's my teammate. You can't say that.
Carlos, he's mine now. No! Carlos, please stay around.
Lando, he is mine.
Grab his love. Williams, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Williams, don't
Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank all of you for watching and for subscribing and helping me achieve great things on YouTube. In particular, I would like to thank my Patreons. Once again, thanks everybody. I hope to see you all in the next video. Cheers! Oh, and please join the Discord server, link is in the description. Hello guys, and welcome to the channel. I hope you like it and that you want to subscribe as well. Enjoy the video.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 8th installment of the Ravi Racing League. Today we'll be taking a look at the German Grand Prix, which is definitely going to be an exciting race. Again, a couple of other people got demoted. These were General Pepe, Melting Ace and Ocean Chief, which means these are all going to be removed from the standings, and will be replaced by new people for the next season for sure. This means Chris Bay has a shot at the top 3, definitely. Well, he had it nonetheless, as he's very close to Ninja Zero. Only one mistake from Ninja Zero and Chris Bay can actually take podium finish in the season. I hope you can actually hear me, because otherwise this is gonna look very silly. Let me check real quick. So you can hear my voice. So qualifying is getting underway, slowly but surely. Let's go.
Guten Morgen, mein
Guten
Bruder.
Morgen. How are you doing?
First of all, to all our German viewers, of course, we have to make the customary welcome speech. Willkommen auf dem Hockenheimring. Mein Name ist 8 Hier bei mir ist Walter OP. Herzlich willkommen, which roughly translates to welcome to the Hockenheimring. My name is 8 Cylinders of Fury. Here with me is Walter OP. Welcome everyone to the Hockenheimring. I've put a lot of emphasis there because it is German.
You've been practicing in your German.
I have a bit. I did study it briefly, so
It definitely does
I
pay
can't
off.
speak. I can't speak it perfectly, but it's broken, and that's better than not knowing any German at all. But welcome to the Hockenheimring, to round 8 of RRL. I'm sure Walter must have already given the introduction, but
Only
we
very
have,
shortly.
yeah, we have not many drivers this time around. It's under par turnout. We've only got 12 drivers so far in qualifying, of which our main front runner in the championship and champion-elect, Wat Maranello, is not here this weekend. He's busy. We also don't have Not So Masoom. We also don't have Electrip, all of which could have populated the grid up a bit more, but obviously we make do with who we have. Of course, the weekend rumbles off. We are at Hockenheimring, as I did mention earlier, a fairly power-based circuit, but obviously the cars have a balanced power this time around, so as it has been for the whole league, really. So all the drivers will have an equal shot at the win. But right now, if we're going on points alone, and if we're going on form in the past races, I think Chris Bay, Anirudh are the drivers with the greatest chance of not only picking up pole position, but making a good impression in the race as well. I haven't checked out the weather report. I can't since I'm spectating. Last time around, I was driving. Don't go back and watch the highlights. You won't see me there. But the rain did come in later on in the race, so we did have some rain in the last 2 or 3 laps. Of course, Hockenheim is one of those tracks where the weather is very unpredictable. It's like Spa, it's like Austria, where the weather can turn on a sixpence. So it'll be interesting to see just how the weather changes as the race goes on. We do have a 50% race, I think, so the weather is inevitable to change. It is bound to change. We don't have a radar or anything right now, but we will update you if rain is on the horizon later on in the race. But right now, qualifying seems to be dry. Walter, since Maranello is not here this weekend, who is your vote? Who gets your vote of confidence to pick up the pole position this weekend?
Well, I hope Anirudh does. It's about time he gets a top step finish. And now that Maranello is not here, there's not many people, I think, who can snatch away this opportunity from him. He just has to finish, and I think he will finish fairly high in the field.
This race also marks the first time in a long time that we have both the original drivers of RRL in Ferrari, that is Vikram and Iyad Ahmed, both of which make a return to Ferrari. Obviously, they've been kind of in and out of the league in past months, but they have obviously both made a return to RRL. Vikram is 120 PSI, for all those wondering. If you can't see him in the standings, he is 120 PSI. Dylan also racing for Red Bull, weirdly. I was expecting him to be in a Williams. He seems to have very rudely abandoned his teammate and friend False RU in the Williams, while he himself picks up a faster Red Bull. Both McLarens are here this time, so Freeman and no more PP. G Chroma, the only driver in the Alfa Romeo, and Ninja Zero, the only driver in the Renault, and Chris Bai, who's usually teammates with Cooldock, the only driver in the Haas car. Last time the Haas did very well, but unfortunately finished outside of the podium due to penalties, so it'll be interesting to see how he does in the absence of the faster drivers. We don't have the real SD this time either, who was our second place driver last time around, if I remember correctly. So
how do you feel about Formula 1 starting up soon? The actual race is going through soon.
Well, they're doing Austria twice or 3 times. I think it's twice.
2 times, yeah.
They're doing yeah, they're doing
as well, right?
Yeah. So I guess there's no. It's not a spectator sport at this point. It's just like a testing session because there won't be many people in the stands due to the limitations in the UK and lockdown and whatnot. So there won't be many people in the stand. It'll just be something for fans to watch on TV. It won't have the same spectacle. It's what I've been thinking about football as well, because football is returning. The Premier League is returning in another 3 days, I think. On Wednesday, we get the first match after lockdown. And I'm just thinking it won't be the same. It'll be empty stadiums. You can hear the sound of the ball and the players and the referee. And it's not like they usually have atmosphere, usually have a bouncing atmosphere, you know, stands and fans shouting at everyone and drinking beer and making scene. It's not a spectator sport if you don't have spectators. And I'm sure a lot of people will kind of feel the same way. It's like the spectacle of not only Formula 1, but many spectator sports out there, is that it's hinged a lot on the fans that are also watching, cheering their team on. If you watch football, or if there are stream viewers who watch football, you'll know that home and away makes a big difference, because when you play at home, you have 40, 50,000 fans cheering you on. Whereas when it's away, you have so many fans who are booing at you and hoping that you either fall over or, you know, get fouled and get sent off or something. As I'm just looking at 3 cars getting on their fast lap or out lap, I'm not entirely sure, but Dylan, G.
Chris By is
Chroma,
going
and
in. For sure.
yeah, Chris By is going into the pits, but G. Chroma is on his out lap. Okay, he starts his flying lap now. They were all in very close proximity to each other, so I assume they were all on slow laps or all on
Oh,
out
and
laps. but-
Vikram actually, I don't know what he did. He just ran off the road into the barriers.
Vikram is a weird case because I say weird not because he's weird, but I say weird because it seems like at times he's got brilliant pace, but then sometimes his tire management and his strategies kind of catch him off. You can kind of blame the fact that he's driving for Ferrari, who ruined his strategies, but still, it's kind of weird that he always gets caught up in something. I mean, in Canada, he got caught up on a really bad tire strategy, and I think he crashed because his tires just gave up on him, and he just put in the wall somewhere because his tires simply didn't have enough grip. And he gets caught up in a lot of bad strategies. So I'm hoping this time he can get his strategy bang on. He can get his tire wear bang on. He can just do a much better job than he has done in previous races, because he does have the potential to be a very, very fast driver. Speaking of very fast drivers, Vortex currently
Ninja Zero with a 112.8 takes provisional
Ninja Zero?
pole.
It says G Chroma.
Oh yeah,
on my screen.
sorry, I meant G Chroma. No, I was confused because Ninja Zero, I was thinking of Ninja Zero because he was facing backwards on the grass when G Chroma passed him.
Nice. Oh, and Ninja Zero's out of the session. He just crashed going into the pit lane. I think this is a strategy from the two Renault drivers to just crash every time at the beginning of the session and put themselves out of it. Ooh, false RU getting very, very sideways going into the pit lane there. Careful there, Williams. Ooh, both drivers synchronized pit exit there. Both of them came out of the pit simultaneously. Looked very nice. In real life, they were crashed into each other, but let's not go into the technicalities of it. But yes, currently your provisional pole sitter is G Chrome on a 1:12.850, currently fastest in all three sectors. A very, very strong lap from him. Let me go and quickly check what's a nice qualifying time at Hockenheim. Let me go ahead and do it.
At the moment, Anirudh's at a 114.7, but on the hards. So
I feel like he's now taken a page out of Maranello's book and just wants to run the long strategy on the first stint, have the pace on the drivers ahead, and overtake them all going into the second stint. I feel like it's a good strategy. It's worked out pretty much every time for Maranello. So it'll be interesting to see how the other drivers adapt, to know that if Maranello was on the grid today, he'd probably be thinking of the same thing. But obviously he's not.
Anirudh now did a 113.4 on the mediums. But Anirudh always opts to go for a very hard run first to
Installation lap, maybe?
Yeah, get to know the track, make sure he gets all the braking points right, and then switches on to a softer tire. This time not on the softest, but yeah. Nice lap, anyway. Freeman did a 113.1 on the mediums.
McLaren looking very, very pacey. I'm riding on board here with 120 PSI. He's on his fast lap, but seems to be going very not fast. Yellow flags in sector 1 and 2 indicate that he is the slow driver currently on the track. What is going on here? He seems to be on his fast lap, doesn't say out lap. He is on his fast lap. But he's chosen, I guess, to back out of it. As Chris By puts in the fast lap of the session, going a tenth faster than G Chroma's 1:12.850.
On the mediums as well.
Was G Chroma on the soft tires when he did his fastest lap?
He was on the softs.
Well. I guess that's more indicative of the pace of the faster driver. Sorry, G Chroma. I don't mean to call you a slow driver, but if Anirudh gets on the medium tires, which he's on right now, I think, so keep an eye on Anirudh. He is on his fast lap on the medium tires, so he might definitely put Chris By's time in jeopardy. Coming through the second sector here, very clean there from Anirudh. Many drivers just choose to run that corner before the second fast right-hander. They just choose to run so wide because track limits allow you to, very deep going into the third sector here. But he looks to be doing a good job. Good tire. Runs a little wide on the exit of the penultimate corner. Coming into the last corner now. Where will this put Anirudh? Fifth. Not much of an improvement on his previous lap there, not going to lie. But that puts him in fifth position. He did make a couple of sloppy corner exits there. As IRC Freeman retires from the session, I'm curious to see where exactly he retired. Let me go ahead and turn on the mini-map here.
At the moment,
He's just in the pits, never
Yeah.
mind. Telemetry, detail fitted, best. Gap, fastest lap, leader. Broadcast.
well, Chroma is gonna go for another lap. So I'm gonna check with him. As
I
Faizan
think
is
Dylan
also-
is on his fast lap. No, he's not. He's at 0 ERS. He's not on his fast lap.
I'm gonna follow on board
Okay.
with G Chroma. As he's now in the second sector. On his out
He's
lap.
still on his out lap, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vortex has just started his flying lap. If you want to go on board with him, he's on the medium tires now. As Vikram also retires from the session, having put in a 1 minute 13.1, looks like, on the soft tires. He'll be disappointed with that one, considering their driver's going faster than him on the medium tires. But strong performance here so far from Chris Prix. He's put in a magnificent lap to put him on provisional pole position. But Vortex, purple through the second sector here. Vortex is also green through the first sector. I think this might be a good lap here. Coming through the final sector. Stadium section. Runs a little wide on the penultimate corner. Last corner. Clean through there. Where does that put Vortex? It puts him third on the medium tires. 1 minute 1 minute 13.0. Very, very, very good lap there on the medium tires, considering G Chroma is the only driver ahead of him on soft tires. G Chroma has left the session. Oh dear, how ominous.
Can
A
we
lot of
just
drivers
talk?
are leaving the session, actually.
Can we just talk about the lap from Chris By? Like a 112.7 on mediums. That's insane.
It is a very, very fast lap, but if anyone can beat that lap right now, it's probably Anirudh. There's not much time in qualifying. I've not paid attention to the time, actually, because we have now come to the last 1 minute of qualifying. Let's see if any other drivers are on their fast laps right now. IRC No More Pro Player is currently on his fast lap, heading along the long, groovy back straight in Sector 2. Hairpin, very neatly negotiated from him. I think Hockenheim might actually be one of my favorite tracks. It flows very nicely and has a nice combination of both fast corners and slow corners. And, it's a good mixture of both power and downforce. But pay attention to turn number 1 just after the pit straight, because that's where a lot of drivers, and I do believe a lot of drivers, as IRC No More Pro Player, will not be able to get in a lap. 6 seconds left, 4 seconds left. Surely the qualifying is over. He's already started his fast lap, so he will be able to finish it. Where does No More Pro Player go? He finishes the session in 7th. Anybody else on their fast lap? Faizan currently on his fast lap, but juggling with just 8% ERS and no fuel on the medium tires. Will he be able to finish this lap? It does look like he will be. Very scruffy through the last corner there. Will be able to keep it? Yes, he will. How much faster will that be? A 10th position does not improve much on his time at all. I do have to say, Walter, that was a not as fiery of a qualifying session as I hoped it would be. There was a lot of very passive laps, a lot of aborted laps. So right now, our pole sitter is Chris By. His first pole position in RRL Season 1, a brilliant lap on the medium tires, a 1 minute 12.772, puts him on pole position. G Chroma bringing up the front row in second place. The first time, this is the highest qualifying so far in RRL with 1 minute 12.850. Not that far behind Chris By, but he was on the soft tires. Vortex Freeman and Vikram complete the top 5. All of them were on, well, 2 of them were on the medium. Vikram was on the soft tire. But very, very interesting qualifying. Anirudh nowhere near the front, but if there's anything that Maranello has clarified for us in the past, is that qualifying position is not indicative of where you finish in the race.
What's going to be very interesting is going to see how Fiveson approaches this race, as he couldn't improve on his best lap, which was set on the hards, and he was trying to set a better lap on the mediums. So he will starting his race, because he's in 10th position, with hard tires, which is not very optimal when you wanna do a race at Hockenheim. I think you can get through with the mediums and then going to the softs. Can't you? Or do you need the hards?
Sorry about that. I just kind of blanked out because I read some very tragic news. Okay, I'll come back to the F1 just a second.
Okay. Also, it seems like Vikram is having a lot of issues with his computer. And
Yes, he did post on the Discord that he was wrestling with lag, a lot of lag actually. So we're on our outlap right now, a 34 lap race is what awaits us, is what is ahead of us right now. Here is the qualifying order as it stands. Chris By, our provisional pole sitter. G Chroma finishing up the first row. Vortex and Freeman will be looking to contest them going into turn 1 there on the second row of the grid. Vikram and Anirudh, former teammates at Toro Rosso back in the day in Formula Student Discord races, now bring up the third row of the grid. IRC No More Pro Player and Iyad Ahmed in the second Ferrari bring up the fourth row of the grid, rounding out the top 10. Dylan starts with D, formerly a Ferrari driver, formerly a Williams driver, now in the Red Bull, bringing up 9th position. Faizan completes the top 10 in the Mercedes. Rounding off our grid today, False RU and Ninja Zero bringing up the tail end of the pack on the 6th row of the grid. They'll be the one looking to capitalize on any kind of chaos and destruction in front of them. Based on the preliminary weather report, which I can attain with a lot of accuracy just by looking at the sky, it looks to be cloudy, and we look to be in with a chance of rain. But of course, stay tuned for more updates on that, of course. Grid is reforming up here. We're going to go ahead and dive to the cinematic camera. Ooh, very, very nice look there down the grid as all the drivers are reforming. This also is the first time that all our drivers went on the formation lap without lagging out or doing actual race starts, which is an improvement.
Yeah, let's hope this race can stay bug-free for now. So we got Ninja Zero starting from the back. Let's see how good of a run G Chroma gets in turn 1 and 2.
2, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And away we go in Hockenheim. Strong start there from G Chroma. He'll have the inside line going into turn 1, but Chris By sticks it round the outside. A lot of drivers running wide at turn 1, heading down into the hairpin of turn 2, which immediately leads out into turn 3 and onto the long back straight. This will be a major overtaking point for G Chroma if he can get within a slipstream distance of Chris By. He should be within slipstream distance of Chris By. Let me see position changes. Anirudh has jumped up massively. He's in 8th position now. Going 3 wide into the hairpin. Vortex challenging up the inside. Will he get the move done? No, he won't. Banging wheels. There's Mercedes been pushed onto the grass as Toro Rosso was boinging around in there amongst the cars. I believe that was Anirudh. Oh, this is exciting here. In a weird turn of events, 120 FPS, 120 PSI. Vikram jumps from 5th position up into 3rd position, capitalizing on a very poor start there from Vortex. But I think the biggest loser of that opening section has to be, well, actually, I can't tell because the positions have only changed a little bit. No more PP, Dylan and Ninja Zero make up some positions. Anirudh also making up some positions. Didn't he start in 6th place? It shows that his position change is positive, even though he's in 7th. I believe he may have lost a position there, as
Yes.
Chris By now pulling away from G Chroma, 8/10 of a second clear now as we finish the first lap. 120 PSI, aka Vikram, bringing up 3rd position in the Ferrari. Keep an eye on him. He'll be a serious threat going into this race, obviously looking to put some points on the board for Ferrari, who've been looking lackluster this season. Vortex, very poor start from him. He started 2nd on the grid, but is now sitting in 4th position after getting into a hairy moment. He's on the attack here from IRC Freeman. Will Freeman get the overtake done here? Clean as you like, up the inside going into the hairpin, gets the overtake done very, very cleanly. Gets pushed wide though. Vortex getting a much better exit out of that corner, maybe because Freeman is on a wheel and the pad drivers just have a better advantage with a grip on corner exit. Yes, Freeman. Oh, Vortex running very wide there, but Freeman gets the overtake done and he is up into 4th place. Vortex now dropping 3 positions, finding himself in 5th position, and he's immediately on the attack here from Iyad Ahmed. Can he get the overtake done here? Trying to put it up the inside. Oh, he gives him a little tap on the back. Very, very tight racing here, and expect a lot of overtakes here, chat, because Hockenheim is just one of those tracks where it's very easy to get a slipstream on the car ahead. Chris By going even faster on the medium tires now. No other driver able to match his pace as he gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, cutting the first corner and, well, actually running track limits on the exit of first corner, should I say. False RU finds himself in the unfortunate position of being our last car on the grid as Anirudh dives up the inside of Iyad Ahmed. No mercy there from Anirudh on the overtake. Now makes his way back up into his starting position of 6th place. I don't know if the stream is showing the footage I'm exactly talking about, which is why I'm trying to make it as descriptive as possible.
He came out of nowhere.
Yeah, IRC trying to mount a big overtake. IRC no more PP, trying a massive lunge up Iyad Ahmed into the hairpin, but manages to outbrake himself and run very deep into the corner, which means Ahmed is safe. But for how much longer, we will see. Anirudh now looking to prowl on the cars ahead as Freeman looks to mount overtake up the inside of Vikram, going into the 2nd fast right-hander, heading into sector 3 now, coming into the stadium section. Not many overtaking spots here. He will look to get it done on the first DRS straight at the start of the next lap. Trying to keep it clean through the last sector as Vikram dives into the pits. Very interesting there as Vikram dives into the pits very early on. It's only lap 4. He might have picked and he's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane just to compound his misery. He has now got a penalty for... Oh, and 120 PSI has left the session. Has he rage quit? Is that a rage quit?
He
Maybe
might
that
have
is a
left
rage
because
quit.
of
Lag,
issues,
yes, it's entirely possible. Yeah, that's true. He did mention earlier, that's a fair point. He may have left due to lag. He might restart his computer, but until then, 120 PSI bot takes over in 12th position. Not sure he'll be able to do much because the bot in this game is useless and next to useless. Our Vortex gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I believe he was corner cutting, but if you can see stream, based on the amount of sunlight coming here into the 2nd sector, if we're riding on board with Vortex, I'm riding on board with Vortex here, the sunlight seems to be indicative that the weather is clearing up, that the clouds were just a little April Fool's joke, if you will. No real rain incoming for right now, but of course, Hockenheim is very unpredictable, so we do recommend you keep your eyes glued to the screen. Probably the biggest winner from this opening 5 laps of the race has to be Anirudh, who runs very wide, but seems to get a decent exit anyway on the drivers ahead of him. Keep in mind that last time, Anirudh, Vortex, and Chris By were embroiled in a battle pretty much throughout the race. So if they do come to it in the end of the towards the end of the race. Ooh, Anirudh locking up his inside front right, breaking into the first hairpin. Ooh, gets an interesting exit. Freeman running oddly wide, going into the long back straight. Anirudh will have DRS. Didn't even need to get the slipstream, but because Vortex got the overtake done before the DRS detection zone, he won't have DRS. Will Anirudh try the big lunge up the inside? No, he doesn't. Locks up. Ooh, locks up and bumps into the back of Vortex. Very, very tidy though, doesn't seem to lose any front wing as Freeman picks up a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner, running track limits. I'm not exactly sure, but keep your eyes on the Anirudh versus Vortex battle here. ghosting in and out of each other, showing each other the respect that they deserve. Ooh, very close here, but there seems to be a little gap developed between them now. 0.3 of a second. Anirudh getting a much better run through that corner, not going to live. Vortex seems to be struggling on the medium tires. A gap seems to be developing up between them. Also, if you are paying attention to the Anirudh and Vortex battle right now, I will keep you updated on G Chroma and Chris By battle happening a little further up the road, 4 seconds up the road, I should say. But G Chroma seems to be closing in on Chris By a bit, only 0.9 of a second separate the two of them now. Ooh, Anirudh gets a good run. Into the second turn, does not seem to get anything done there. None going there for him, but he will get the DRS on the back straight. Vortex seems to be primed for the kill now. Easily slips past Vortex without DRS there, and Anirudh will now look to capitalize on the pace advantage that he has over Vortex. Ooh, Vortex gets very close to the back of Anirudh. Anirudh locks up a bit, but still manages to keep everything nice and tidy. He has now made his way up into third position, gaining 3 positions on the opening lap and the laps just after that. We're now on lap 6 of this race. Keep an eye on G Chroma. He's on much faster tires, but Chris By seems to be doing a respectable job around Hockenheim in the Haas here. The nice carbon fiber halo of the Haas is what I'm looking at right now, as he seems to be trying to pull away from G Chroma here. 1.4 seconds clear as G Chroma dives into the pits on the lap 6 of this race, technically lap 7, as Chris By gets lap 7 underway. False RU picks up a 3-second time penalty, but he's currently in the points. The Williams is in the points. This is interesting. This is very, I take that back. 120 PSI just getting the overtake. Very, very wheels together there, coming into the penultimate section, going through the stadium section here.
Is this still an
PSI.
AI, or has Vikram rejoined?
I think that's Vikram Bot, actually, because he is coasted out permanently. So that is Vikram. Vikram's Bot has overtaken False RU in the final sector. Come on, Williams. What are you doing? Pick up your game.
So it seems like
Dylan
a lot of people get penalties when they run wide at the hairpin in sector 2. I'm pretty sure those penalties can get removed, as you just misjudge your braking points. It's very easy to go wide. It's better to go wide than to cut the first chicane.
Yeah, entirely true. I think in the midst of an overtake, there's a lot of adrenaline, so you feel like you can brake a lot later, and you feel like you're so confident on the brakes, but then you realize physics is not quite how your mind works. So you end up misjudging your braking just a little bit. But right now, Anirudh has made his way up into second position. I believe Freeman may have pit. Yes, Freeman pit onto a set of medium tires. But actually, because he wasn't substantially ahead, but he now finds himself. Oh no, G Chroma was in second place. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry about that, stream. G Chroma is now on the set of hard tires now. He's 5 seconds away from Iyad Ahmed in 6th place. But right now, the main battle here is between Vortex and Anirudh, because Anirudh now desperately seems to want to close the gap on Chris By, who, if allowed, will pull away. But Anirudh wants to keep the gap close to Chris By, but at the same time, he also wants to create a gap between him and Vortex. Now, Anirudh has a much bigger advantage considering he's on a wheel, so he can be a lot smoother. But Vortex, considering he's on controller, has much, much better corner exit speed, because when you're on a wheel, you have to be careful with how much throttle you're applying. I'm sure, Walter, you can testify for that. You are a wheel user. So you do have to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more cautious on the wheel when you're applying the power, as opposed to applying power on the pad. You don't really have much to worry about. You just kind of mash the throttle. LH44 car has joined the... Vortex running on the grass on the exit of turn 1 there, heading into turn 2. But LH44 car has joined. Not entirely sure who he is, but he has joined our session. We will keep an eye on him. Maybe he'll take over one of the bots. But 120 PSI bot is currently sitting in 8th place. Ninja Zero will be looking to get the overtake done on him very, very soon. Faizan bringing up the end of the points. And the two Williams boys now find themselves 11th and 12th, even though one of them isn't in a Williams. Gap between Vortex and Anirudh now 1 second, dropping below 1 second there, 9/10 of a second now, 9.5 tenths I should say. Anirudh looks to get the lead closed on Chris Bai, but Chris Bai seems to be putting in a dominating performance on these medium tires. Very, very consistent laps from him. Seems to be just running a bit wide on some of the corners, but it's totally within limits, so it's fine really.
It seems he's even a little bit faster than Anirudh, because Anirudh makes a mistake, and Vortex goes into second position. Anirudh going down into fourth, made a very big mistake, getting a lot of oversteer into turn 1. Yeah,
very uncharacteristic from Anirudh. Usually such a consistent, fast driver who can stay on the pace without making many mistakes, but I've been seeing he's consistently been locking up both his inside front wheels when turning in. Maybe a setup issue, maybe causing a little bit more understeer on corner entry and then snap oversteer on corner exit. Be interesting to see how that works out in his favor. IRC Freeman benefits well from that situation as Vortex are ahead of him, puts two wheels on the grass. But very interesting. Now Vortex finds himself up.
Anirudh actually lost his end plate. He will have to pit now, because he's losing so much time. Oh, he's being
overtaken by no more PP. Puts it in the gravel. Oh, dearie me. He might be overtaken by G Chroma here as well. He does. He's back in 7th place with wing damage. This is absolutely catastrophic for the championship contender, who was looking to capitalize on the fact that our championship leader right now, Maranello Baby, is not in the race. He will now look to try and get his pit lane entry correctly so he doesn't get a 5-second penalty. Ooh, very cautious there. Gets it well below 80 kilometers an hour. But he now has to pit for new tires, a new front wing. Which tires does he choose to go on? He chooses to go on the hard tires. Ooh, very funky animation there. Tires being fitted onto another set of tires. Well done, Codemasters. Very, very clean pit stop there from Toro Rosso, but Anirudh finds himself in an unfortunate position here. He's now overtaken by Dylan. Dylan has overtaken Anirudh, which means that Anirudh now finds himself outside the points in 11th place. Comeback drive is now very, very firmly on. Keeping also a keen eye on Iyad Ahmed, who seems to find himself in a pretty same position as Anirudh here. Anirudh immediately getting DRS and looking to get the move done on Dylan. Does he get the move done here? Comfortably so. Up into the points, back into the points for Anirudh. Seems to be encountering a lot of lockups, an uncharacteristic number of lockups in that race. Maybe something is wrong with his sim rig. His pedal seems to be giving more pressure than required. Freeman picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Most of these time penalties are for exceeding track limits. Chat, we should make that aware, because Hockenheim is one of those tracks where you just get involved in a lot of exceeding track limits and corner cutting penalties, primarily at turn 1 and in the hairpin, but also I've seen track limit penalties being imposed in other parts of the track, maybe on the exit of turn 7 or 8, just before the beginning of sector 3. It's very easy to run wide there.
Anirudh going for the move on Faizan, gets it done into turn 1, even though he cut the corner pretty hard. Didn't look like Faizan put up much of a fight. Just let him go past anyway.
Indeed.
Faizan loses an end plate, running into the wall.
Dylan will have a good run on him going into the next sector here. Ooh, Faizan going very deep into the corner there. Dylan getting a much better exit, even though his exit is it wasn't optimum on the braking, but he gets the overtake done. Faizan drops into 11th place. That'll be a cool battle to watch out for. Faizan versus Dylan. There'll be sure to be some dive bombs in rage going into that. Anirudh now in 9th position, slowly making up the places. Did Anirudh and Faizan come together? Is that why Faizan went into the wall? Is that how that happened?
I don't know. I think Faizan is just sleeping behind the wheel. He just completely went into the wall on his own.
Well,
Not exactly sure
terribly
how that
unlucky.
happened,
It's just we can just leave it down to lag in the F1 gods then. And it was very, very slick through the first corner there. That is the perfect line through that corner. Hopefully he can keep up the pace. If he can get within 5 to 10 seconds of the leaders, the penalties alone might put him within contention of a win. And what he needs to do right now is to be consistent with his pace. He should gain one position here. He should get two positions here, actually, with Ninja Zero and Iyad Ahmed tussling ahead of him, both of them slowing each other down.
Vortex going into the pit now, as Freeman goes on for another lap.
Freeman now on 13 lap all mediums. Chris Pye also on 13 lap all mediums, which will become 14 lap all mediums at the end of this lap. No more PP. Also, two McLarens in the top three positions. Let me tell you that Uzair, one of our regular viewers, is a very big McLaren fan, so he will be very happy seeing this. Hopefully, they can keep this position towards the end of the race and capitalize from some of the penalties ahead of them. But right now, Anirudh is sitting in ninth place. He seems to have good, consistent pace. He seems to be catching up to Ninja Zero, G Chroma, disconnecting from Steam for a third time now and coming back online. Should be interesting to
Seems
see
like
how
he's
that
still in
works
the
out.
race though.
He is still in the
Oh.
race, but Anirudh going very deep into turn two. That'll cost him some time, valuable tenths in his race to catch up to the leaders once
It seems like
again.
G Chroma's bot has taken over though again. He has some very unfortunate races, I feel like.
Walter, you'll have to excuse me. I need to go and get some water, so be right back in
Yeah,
about 20
sure.
seconds.
So, yeah, everyone is pretty much spaced out at the moment. I'm at actually closing on Vikram bot, as Ninja Zero is actually still pretty close to Ahmad as well, as G Chroma actually rejoins the session. And he is in front of Freeman who comes out of the pits. So if G Chroma takes over his spot right now, as Anirudh at the fastest lap, a 1:16.1 on the hard. Let's go on board with Freeman. G Chroma is back in his car. Let's see if he can go for a move. Doesn't look like it for now. But he's definitely close enough to go for a move, maybe on the next lap. As Sector 3 does not have a lot of overtaking opportunities. Let's see how these guys battle it out as they come through the last sector. G-Chroma running maybe a little bit wide, but gets a good cutback. It's a very nice exit out of the corner into the last two corners. Go to the start-finish straight. See how they take turn one. Both fairly cleanly. I think Freeman was a bit more committed though, closing in on G-Chroma. Freeman actually going a little bit deep, so he doesn't get the best of exits. But G-Chroma doesn't either. Here comes Freeman with the DRS, just blazing past him. I think G-Chroma might even have put it into lean and no ERS, as he knew he was going to be overtaken by Freeman anyway. G-Chroma now finding himself in third position even after disconnecting multiple times, which is very unfortunate. Let's go on board real quick with the Ferrari battle where Vikram Bot is overtaken by Ahmad. He's also going to be overtaken by Anirudh very shortly. He's closing on fairly significantly. Brought the gap down from 5 seconds to less than a second now in 5 laps. Getting a lot of lockups though. This might hurt his performance later on the race. Maybe his tire pressure, his brake pressure is a bit too high for this setup.
I am back. What have I
Okay.
missed?
Not much. Chicroma is back. He's got overtaken by Freeman.
Alright.
And he's now in third position. Chroma.
I'm riding on board Anirudh, and he's going to get the overtake done on Vikram Bot. Vikram Bot, not very great in the defense there, just lets him slip by.
Yeah.
Anirudh looks to have Iyad Ahmed in his sights now.
Anirudh closing up very fast. He was 5 seconds behind Ahmed. Now within a second. Within
The
6
main
laps.
problem for Anirudh now will be the 9-second gap between IRC, No More PP, and Vortex. That'll be his major talking point, as Chris By is going even faster on the hard tires than he was on the mediums. That is absolutely insane. He seems to really, really love Germany.
What was his
Which is-
lap? What was his time?
A 1 minute 15.7, I believe.
Okay, because Anirudh did a 1:16.1 earlier on. So it seems like
Okay.
Chris By is just running away.
Pulling
with this
away
one.
here. Oh, Anirudh gets a much better exit there. Will he look to get the overtake done here? Oh, ooh! They go through each other. Very, very early braking there from Iyad, or was it late braking from Anirudh? Not entirely sure, but Anirudh gets a much better exit out of turn 3, technically? Yeah,
Two and
turn
three.
3. Gets the overtake done going into the hairpin of turn 4. Ooh, locking up the inside front right there, but I think it's just because it doesn't have any load acting on it into that corner. But very nice overtake there. That moves him back up to the position which he started this race on, which is 6th position. World comes full circle. 6th, ooh, very, ooh, oh, whoa, what's going on here?
Very laggy.
Very laggy there from Anil. He was talking about how he doesn't seem to have a very stable connection with the host, I believe, who is Freeman, or Freeman,
I think
yes.
it's Freeman.
So, interesting. Ahmed gets the overtake done, but I think because of the lag, I think he never got the overtake done in the first place. I think he has been behind Ahmed this whole time. Ooh, very, very big cut there on the first corner, but it's very considered legal. Ahmed not putting up much of a defense, not hugging the inside line, just choosing to let Anirudh pass, probably acknowledging the fact that Anirudh's carrying a lot more pace than him, but keep an eye on the fact that Ahmed may just photon phase his way back ahead because of lag.
DRS. He had the DRS.
Yes.
Because Anirudh got in front of him before the
Detection zone.
activation- Yeah, the detection zone, and then Ahmad got the DRS. Yeah, Anirudh getting a lot of lockups. I wonder if his brake pressure is maybe a bit too high on the setup. Which is good if you have a lot of hairpins, like in sector 2. But if you keep locking up, it's gonna damage your tires in the end. So Anirudh might actually be struggling a bit more towards the end of this race, especially because he's on 4-lap older tires than guys like Chris By or IRC No More PP. 5-lap older tires.
Fair enough.
Seems like there is not much battling going on, as everyone is spaced out a bit.
Drivers fairly close to each other now. Iyad Ahmed and Anirudh, they're in the 1.4 seconds clear of each other. But Anirudh will now look to catch up to No More PP, and in turn look to catch up on Vortex. But keep in mind that Vortex is on much, much newer hard tires. So that will be a problem for Anirudh. But Freeman seems to be closing the gap on G Chroma. It was 6.7 seconds a couple of laps ago, but now it is at 6.1. Keep in mind, we only have 13 laps left in this race. Time seems to have flown by here, but
You mean 3 minutes closing up to Chris by?
one thing that Vikram will not be very happy about is his bot has decided to stay out on 16-lap-old mediums. Oh, right as I say that, 120 psi bot dives into the pits on 16-lap-old mediums. He will probably pit to the hard tires. I think the soft tires is very
Ooh,
bold.
there's a battle between Dylan and Faizan unfolding as Dylan
120
is...
psi serving a penalty. Going on to another set of medium tires. What is 120 psi bot doing?
I think
What,
he can
did it
actually
start-
go to the end. It's
Did
only
he start
13
on
laps.
the soft tires?
Yes.
Ah, then it makes sense. All right, fair enough. I thought he started on the medium tire, and I thought, why is he going on another set of mediums?
No, he
That's
went
very
onto the
odd.
softs, then he went into the pits and just left the session. And then his bot went to mediums. Now he's
I think
going
his
mediums
bot
again.
will now finish the race on his behalf, which will be good news for False RU, because if he can catch up to a 120 psi bot within the next 12 laps, only 8 seconds separating them, if he can,
Dylan
he
is
can
going
pick
for the
up
move on
the-
Faizan. Let's go, Dylan. Come on, Dylan.
Oh, very, very close there between the two drivers, but Faizan seems to hold the inside line very cleanly there. No big dive, but ooh, Dylan switches up to the inside. Little big corner cut there.
This guy is
Faizan
going for it.
keeping- Yeah, when Dylan is serious, he is serious. He's like Max Verstappen from Singapore. Come on, Dylan.
He
Oh,
thinks better
good egg.
of going for a move there, but he'll definitely have another chance on the next lap. Faizan seems to be making a lot of mistakes, going on very deep, going wide as well, as he lags a bit forward. Which makes it look like Dylan is a lot further behind than he actually is. He's 0.6
He's,
seconds. That's
He's
not-
0.6 of a second behind. He is, yeah.
Come on, Dylan. You got this.
Dylan will be within DRS here, I should think. He is within DRS. Faizan will not have DRS. This will be Dylan's biggest chance, closing in rapidly here. Closing in with ferocious pace. Not using any ERS at all. Closing in. That
Ooh,
Faizan
bumping
slams
him.
into the side of him. Stream will pick that up. Who were you on board with? Were you on board with Faizan or Dylan? there?
Dylan.
Okay, so we will see that there was contact, but we won't see to what intensity the contact was. But once again, Dylan finds himself behind from an unfortunate piece of driving from Faizan there. Very interesting battle here. Let me also see any other driver. 120 PSI is within 7/10 of Ninja Zero. 120 bot, I should say, but Ninja Zero is driving. So it'll be interesting to see what the bot can do against an actual driver. 120 PSI on a lot newer tires, 2-lap-old mediums as opposed to 8-lap-old hards that Ninja Zero is currently running. Both of them can drive all the way till the end. So I think Ninja Zero it will be looking to maximize his pace, not make any mistakes. 44% ERS available to him. He's on ERS mode 2. Vikram's bot currently does have DRS, but doesn't seem to be closing in that much on Ninja Zero.
Dylan
yeah,
getting a
that's
good exit
pretty-
this time.
Dylan getting a
going for
good
it
exit
again.
this time. He has no ERS 0. Come on, Dylan, use some of that electric mat. Oh, lag puts Faizan behind once again, side by side. And Faizan is still ahead and in the points. Both Mercedes currently in with a chance of picking up vital points in the Constructors' Championship, considering the Renault of Maranello Baby and the Toro Rosso of Melting Ace are not in this race, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see which team can pick up. I think right now McLaren have the chance of picking up the best points. They're in currently 2nd and 5th.
Well, there is someone else who's gonna pick up points, and it's going to be Chris By, who, if he doesn't make a
Who's going
mistake,
to
of course,
be-
let's hope he doesn't make any
It's got-
mistakes. But if he wins
Right
this
now-
and Ninja Zero stays in 8th position, it means that Chris By is jumping Ninja Zero in the standings and is becoming 3rd is
Well,
coming
well,
third
well,
place
well,
in the
well.
standings.
Interesting developments there. Will Dylan get a good exit? Oh, that's a good exit. That's
Very
a
nice.
very good exit. Very, very slingshot of an exit there from Dylan. He should definitely get the overtake done. ERS into 4. I think it was just looking for the best overtaking opportunity possible to use up that ERS. Gets the overtake done. Faizan again! Aggressively shoving his car up the inside and keeping the lead. I'm surely going to watch Dylan's stream later to see his reactions to Faizan's brilliant driving here. It's not bad driving per se. Please don't assume it to be sarcasm, but it is very aggressive driving, and it's definitely one way to keep your position in F1. Just shoving it up the inside and hoping for the best. But Anirudh right now, Anirudh is within a second of IRC, no more PP. This is also an interesting battle going into the last 9 laps of this race.
Let's stay on board one more lap with Dylan, and then we will switch over to Anirudh. As Dylan is again fairly close to Faizan. Seems to get a much better exit out of turn 2 and 3 compared to Faizan anyway. I feel like this time, well, we've said it a couple of times, but Dylan is supposed to be able to pass Faizan, but Faizan is going a lot deeper into the braking as he again pushes Dylan wide. He just keeps doing the same thing over and over again, going to the inside and just bumping him off. Let's switch over now to Anirudh, who will get a good run on.
Ooh, he'll look
more
to get the
PP.
overtake done. Is he too far back? No, he's not. He's definitely closing in fast. No more PP will look to get the overtake done here. Will he send it up the inside? He will! He'll send it up. Massive dive bomb there. And I think he'll get it done as well. He won't. He chooses to concede the position. I think he got the overtake done on the grass there, so the game asked him to hand the position back. But
I think he wasn't trying to go for an overtake, but IRC no more PP changed to the outside.
Shifted to
very
the
lately.
outside. So Anirudh just decided, you know what, lick the stamp and send it, and he did. Not working out well for him. They had to concede the position in the end, but
I
he
think he
definitely
actually
seems
went
to
to
have
the
more
inside
confidence.
to avoid just ramming into the back of.
Yeah,
no
we
more
don't want a
PP.
repeat of Austria.
Yeah. As he locked up all his tires as well, so it was a bit of a panic break. It seemed like a bit of a panic break to me. As Faizan actually spun out, he has lost the position to Dylan, which puts Dylan into the
Salvation.
points.
Karma! But the Williams will pick up a point as Iyad Ahmed gets a drive-through penalty.
And we got a
for
safety
speeding
car.
under safety car. This could work out very well for Anirudh. If he pits on the soft tires now, he will be on the attack for the last 7 laps of this race. 8
Well,
laps,
I
should say.
think Chris Bay is gonna do it for sure. He has still 7 seconds to Freeman, and I see G Chroma going for another set of softs as well, as he's on 20
Anirudh picks
lap
up a
old
3-second
hards.
time penalty. No. That won't help him out much in his comeback drive. But he picks up a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner ever so slightly. But will the Haas dive into the pit? He chooses not to, actually. Chris Bay is staying out on the medium tires. Everyone else diving into the pits. All the pit crews rushing out here. Will Vortex go to a set of softs? He's being held up by Faizan. Vortex, the double stack has not gone well for Mercedes here.
Oh no.
Vortex also serving a drive-through penalty. Why is he not going onto the soft tires? Why is he going onto the mediums? Why has he done that? Why he could have gone on everyone else is on the, Anirudh nearly cutting off Vortex there on corner exit, but Anirudh now on much faster tires than Vortex. Vortex may have completely, not to quote Jeremy Clarkson and James May, but he may have completely cocked this up a bit here by choosing to go on the medium tires. Interesting strategy choice there from Vortex. We'll definitely have to see how that pans out. I think it's more that the soft tires, if pushed at the beginning of the safety car period, will drop off in pace after 4 or 5 laps. But the medium tires will obviously last through that period. So Vortex is just going to be on the defensive against Anirudh here. Anirudh now with a golden chance to get back into this race. He would have been begging, pleading, crying for a safety car, and he has got his wish. He is now, well, he will be only within a couple of seconds of Chris Bye, the leader of the race. But more importantly, he'll have a much better chance of picking up valuable points. Dylan also choosing to dive into the pits. Faizan, the back marker, choosing to just weave all over the place in front of the leaders, but he now has an opportunity to get himself unlapped. Very interesting there.
It seems like Dylan got held up behind the safety car even though he was a lap down. So I'm not sure if Dylan knew he was allowed to pass the safety car, or maybe they
Faizan has been disqualified from the session for ignoring yellow flags.
Okay.
Faizan has, I think he decided just to roar past the safety car, but he's been disqualified from the session. He'll have some strong words on the Discord later.
Well,
but,
I guess that's why Dylan didn't pass the safety car.
smart decision there from the lapped cars not to overtake the safety car, choosing instead to let Faizan drive to his doom per se. But this is interesting now for Chris Bye as well, because he's chosen not to pit on the hard compound tires, while everyone behind him has pitted to new, brand spanking new set of soft tires, all of them on the Red Bull tires, and now there's no gap between them, maximum ERS, good amount of fuel. So
This is going to be interesting, yeah.
This will be very interesting. This race was very monotone until now, but it's suddenly been given a little bit of Carolina Reaper. So this will be very spicy in the last 5 laps of this race, I should say. But Freeman pushing the limits of safety car here, literally coming up alongside Chris Bye, Vettel 2017 Baku style. But
let's see, the safety car goes on for another lap. I think guys like False RU and Dylan should be released at any point to unlap themselves, but it doesn't seem like the game is giving them that opportunity.
G-Chrome has once again left the session.
Oh, that's gonna be very unfortunate because his bot is gonna lag.
His bot is going to be useless on race start. Sorry, G-Chrome, the bots on this game are rubbish. So we have another lap under safety car here. Most probably safety car is going to be in this lap. But interestingly,
let's hope G-Chrome comes back just in time to take control of his car again.
Indeed. He has got another lap here. So he should be in with a chance of getting it back, as long as he can get it done in the next minute or so. But interestingly, the lap cars have not been given a chance to unlap themselves. They're just kind of there. A Mercedes is currently coming out of the... Is that a Mercedes or what is that car? Let me see. That is a Mercedes. His driver is still driving. He's still driving.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
weird.
how? I thought he was disqualified.
Safety car is coming in this lap though. And
G-Chroma, better join back soon, mate.
Yeah.
Because the safety car's in this lap. Faizan picks up a 5 second. I thought he was disqualified from the session.
I thought
very
you said
confused.
that, yeah. Doesn't seem like he is.
Yeah, doesn't seem like he is. Well, Faizan is not disqualified from the session. Very sorry. We did see a prompt on our screen that said he was, but clearly he isn't. Safety car timing line is right here. Safety car timing line has been passed. Chris Bye can go anytime he wants. He'll choose to go right after. Let's it rip 5 ERS maximum fuel. He'll have to get the best exit here if he wants to pick a gap up on Freeman. Much faster soft tires here now 3 laps old. They're nice and warm now, ready to go on the attack here. And Chris By already losing time here. 7 tenths has become 5 tenths. No DRS obviously yet, but we will have DRS soon. Dylan picks up a 3-second time penalty immediately after the safety car restart. But keep an eye on Anirudh. IRC, no more PP. Fighting with Dylan here of all drivers. Ooh, goes very, very deep into the hairpin. Anirudh will try to maximize that. Runs into the McLaren. Lag, all kinds of lag there. But interesting. Dylan not being very helpful as the blue flag driver, just kind of parking it on the racing line, not allowing the faster drivers through. But Anirudh down into 6th place now. I believe no more PP got the attack on him, and all these cars literally in a line. The minimum that all these drivers can make up is 1 position, because G Chroma bot is very slow.
G Chroma is back in 3rd position.
G Chroma is back, and what? He's dived into the pits and come back out. He's pushed no more PP wide.
Oh no, what has he done?
PP has spun on the home.
What has he done?
What is going on here? G Chroma coming out with absolute master plays. In, became out right at the last second. Anirudh picks up a position, 2 positions there, as G Chroma completely wipes out no more PP, who now has wing damage, sitting in 9th place currently. Anirudh, an absolute godsend for him. He's right back on Vortex's tail with a chance of a podium finish now, as the 2 drivers ahead of him, Freeman and Chris By, are battling. Chris By on very, very old hard tyres now had to defend for another 2.5 laps. Can he get the defense done? This race is hotting up, going into the last stages here.
Why
Freeman
did Chris By
will look
not,
to get the
not
overtake.
pit? I don't understand.
He's on very, very old hard tyres here, definitely suffering from the effects of grip loss. Freeman, much newer soft tyres here, will look to get the overtake done on the very next lap. Vortex and Anirudh battle also heating up. At the very least, I think Anirudh, if he has enough pace, can also overtake Chris By and pick up a 2nd place position, which will be very beneficial for him, but it'll be a McLaren win. Freeman, surely at this point, will have to pick up the race win, as Anirudh going much faster than everyone else here. A 1:15.221, nearly 6 tenths faster than the previous fastest lap. Will he try to get the dive? Oh, sends it up the outside. Will look to get the inside line going into the next corner. That is a very tidy overtake if it can be done. It's not done yet, but he will have DRS going onto the back straight.
Let's look for the lead.
Won't have DRS.
Let's look at Freeman, who's going for the inside on Chris By. As he comes ahead,
Anirudh also going for the inside on Vortex. 2 simultaneous overtakes in this section, as no more PP retires from the session, having completed 90% of the race. He has now retired from the session. Will that draw a safety car? Not entirely sure. Hopefully it doesn't, because that will once again throw all of this into turmoil. But Chris By going very, very slowly. He's going nearly a tenth slower in the second. Anirudh has, Anirudh, that's not Anirudh, never mind. Chris, I was riding on board Vortex and thought Anirudh overtook him. But Chris By and Anirudh now separated by 1.4 seconds. Keep in mind that he is on much slower hard tyres. And Anirudh is currently on a set of fiery, hot, soft tyres. As Freeman does a 1:14.672. A absolute blinder of a lap. Nearly a second faster than Anirudh's fastest lap from a lap ago. But Chris By, credit to him, he's actually sticking on the back of Freeman here. He will get DRS. This is interesting, very interesting. If Chris By, he's too far back to get the overtake done here, I should think. Yep, he's way too far back to get the overtake done. But this will be beneficial for Anirudh running on the last lap of the race. This is the last lap of the race, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, it's going to be close. I think penalties might put Chris By behind Anirudh, though. Keep a keen eye on your screens. Vortex also prowling if there's a mistake between Chris By and Anirudh, maybe. Yep, Faizan.
And Vikram bot battling it out as well.
Will Faizan just choose to send it up the inside because they are both ghosted? Yes, he does. Making up another position there. 7th place for Faizan right now. But keep in mind that Vikram bot doesn't have any penalties, or many penalties anyway. He has a 1.5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Does Anirudh, he's only within a second of Chris By here, as Freeman comes across the line to take McLaren's first victory in RRL in only the penultimate round.
He becomes
And
fourth.
Anirudh drops. He becomes fourth. How? Chris Byers won the race.
Penalties.
Chris Byers.
It's all
the
about penalties.
A lot of penalties. Anirudh drops to 5th place. Oh no. Well out of the podium. Vortex picks up
Chroma
a podium.
comes second.
Chroma picks up a podium. Chris Byers won. This is insane. What a finish. What a flurry of a finish. Chris Byers. I'm going to clap to you, my friend. Well done for picking up your first victory in RRL. What a finish. Wow. Penalties means that Chris Byers finishes as our race winner. How unpredictable that was. Wunderbar, wunderbar. Very, very good. Very, very good.
Well, I'll tell you
Oh,
one
wow.
thing. The stewards will have some things to look at. Like for instance the incidents with Fivezon and Dylan, and the incident with G Chroma and IRC No More PP. I think G Chroma just rejoined and took control of the car, but just immediately lost it. Interesting finish.
It
to
is
say
a
the least.
very, very interesting finish. Just
Again,
congratulating Chris
A very
Byers.
interesting race. A lot of nice battling again. A lot of not so nice battling as well, but
Well, yeah, most notably, don't want to draw any names from the hat here, but a certain Mercedes and a certain Red Bull were sending it on each corner. Look at that, look at the number of penalties. G Chroma, who ironically spent half of the race as a bot, has finished second. Oh,
and he doesn't
my
have any
goodness.
penalties. This
He doesn't
guy,
have any penalties.
this guy is so clean in
He is so
corner
clean
cutting.
that is PC and Steam decided to shit on him through the whole race, but he has come second in this race. 120 PSI. Vikram also finishing in a strong position for Ferrari. Iyad Ahmed also makes it into the points. Valuable points for Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship, but that is the end of this race. Chris Byers, our new race winner, no longer a Maranello domination. Oh,
What
Williams was
a
in the points as
race.
well.
Oh yeah,
Williams was
Dylan
in
got
the
a point.
points.
Dylan got a point.
Dylan!
Let's go.
That is fantastic. I'm loving that. That was a good race. Even though it's kind of boring, the safety car absolutely turned everything on its head. That is
Dylan
brilliant.
absolutely deserved that one. He deserved
Oh,
it
I think
so much.
False Are You also picked up a point.
Did he?
2 points. Yes.
Man, Williams is gonna win this championship. No, Falser U is 11th. But
Oh, shame.
it might be changed if the stream is
We look at-
rewatched and it seems like Fivezon was actually disqualified, but the game decided he was not.
I'm still confused as to how that works, but that is our race.
I feel like if the game says he's disqualified but then bugged out and it didn't disqualify Fivezon, he still deserves a disqualification.
We will have to look at that later. But
Yeah, exactly.
what an amazing race. Walter, what are your final thoughts on today's race, which we didn't have our full grid. We didn't have a lot of the usual drivers here today, but still a very entertaining race to entertain us on a Sunday afternoon. What are your final thoughts on this afternoon's race?
I mean, it was a very nice race to watch. A bit unfortunate with G Chroma constantly disconnecting. I definitely feel like he didn't mean for the incident with No More PP to happen. But yeah, we'll see how that turns out, and I hope everyone enjoyed as much as I did.
Yep. Well, thank you guys very much for watching with us. We genuinely enjoyed that race for the latter half of the race and the first half of the race, but not the middle part necessarily. It is Auf Wiedersehen, choose from 8 Cylinders of Fury. We will see you guys at the season finale at Circuit of the Americas in the US of A next Sunday. Thank you guys very much for watching.